we have distracting kind of sounds as well. Perfect. Thank you very much for joining me. So let me just get cracking on with this, and I'll talk about the format. I'll give you plenty of time towards the end to ask questions. But if you've got any question, you can put it in the chat. What I'll do is I'll keep on looking at it. If I've got time for this during I'm doing the demo or explaining something, I can do that. Otherwise, I'll keep it for later, and I'll give you the opportunity to ask me at that time. And I can unmute you towards the end as well, if that helps. So now, here we go. Everybody can see my screen clearly, right? Perfect. Thank you very much for that. Now, so this course is about the structure of AWS Academy. You might be new, you might already be using it, or you might be thinking about joining AWS Academy. So just to give you a flavor of what it looks like, what it feels like, this is why we arranged this webinar. And thank you very much to all of you for making the time to join me for this session. Now, my name is Fawad Gul. I am the technical program manager for a team called E2W, Education to Workforce. So I don't work for Academy, AWS Academy itself. I've got a team who looks after that. That's a separate team. That's a product team. I work with the PMs that you work with, basically, who invited you, who gave you an overview of what Academy is and how it works. So we cover multiple programs, and one of the program that we cover is AWS Academy. We talk about this through webinars just to make sure you are comfortable with using different features of the Academy. So that's a bit of introduction about myself. Now let's dive into what are we going to talk about, what's the agenda today. So first of all, you might have heard it, heard about it from your probably your program manager, or if you are already using Academy, you might be aware of few things, but I'm just going to make sure that if you're new, if you're not too comfortable with it, I still reiterate it just to make sure you understand what that is meant to do. So I'm going to talk about what's the overview, what kind of different components are there in AWS Academy. And then I'll do a demo of different parts like labs and what is a module, what's a knowledge check, and what is a capstone project as well. I'll talk about that. And then towards the end, as I promised, I will give you plenty of time to ask me any relevant questions. And if it's relevant to this, I'll give you the answer here. If it's beyond the scope, I might signpost you to somebody to get in touch with, the Academy team or somebody else, or probably emailing me about that as well. Now, are we happy with the agenda so far? Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Now, so you might have seen this before. Now, this is curriculum components of Academy. Now, Academy courses are made up of different components. So when you, let's say, want to teach a course, or you want to study it yourself for self-learning, for CPD, your continual professional development, you can go through a course, you can register for a course, or you can invite your students to a course. And that course would have different parts in it. So the first thing you would see is the modules. So modules are different sections, like lessons on different topics that you will see in the Academy course. So let's say, so I'll pick up one particular course and I'll do a demo of that actually in a bit when I do the demo. But every course would have a module, a section where you would have different things in it, some videos to watch, some presentations for you to use or your learners to go through. You will have, in some of them, not all of them, all modules would not have a lab, but some of the modules would have a lab environment as well. So when I do the demo, I can answer certain questions regarding that there. And then the next thing is the knowledge check. So knowledge check is part of every module, because what we want to do with the knowledge check is learners do a multiple choice question. They answer those questions and they need to get 80% to pass that, just to confirm that whatever video they've watched or resources they've gone through, they have understood the concept. So those knowledge checks are there to support them and you, to make sure that your learners are gaining that knowledge. They are not struggling with concepts. And if they are, they can do it multiple times. It will tell you what's the right answer or what normally is not the right answer. So you can try multiple times the same thing. And as an educator, you can see where your learners are. So I'll talk about that, how to check if the learners have completed a knowledge check, or if they've completed a lab, and what can you do to support them with that as well. So that's another important component. The next one is project exercise. So at the moment, I don't know how many of you have already started using it. Do you know what this project exercise relates to? If you're new, don't worry about it. But if you know, would you like to put it in the chat? So we'll talk about this as well, because sometimes it can be a bit confusing in terms of, yes, that's absolutely perfect. Thank you very much for that. So this is the purpose, because people don't know what this project exercises thing means, basically. So it's a scenario-based project that you give to your learners. They complete it, but they complete it in something called a capstone project. Have you heard of the capstone project? The final project they can do for a course? Yes. So that is really important, because you need to know what purpose does that serve. It's only available in one course, which is cloud architecting. It's not available in any other course, uh, even developing or any other course that you can offer. This project is actually more to do with, so let's say a learner has completed cloud architecting course, the whole course. So are you aware of learner labs? I did a demo of that last week. But if you didn't join it, are you aware of what learner labs are? It's a experimentation. Yes. So capstone project is a similar kind of environment in that course, only it has got its own budget, its own restrictions. It's not a learner lab. If you're not aware of it, I'm going to run some sessions in April. Later on in April, we'll be talking about that. We will be advertising them as well, just to repeat in a cycle. So if you've missed something, you can join me for another webinar and we can talk about it. But so the capstone project is part of that. So this is where learners have completed a course. Now you want them to complete a project. It can't be a lab, because lab is timed. And as soon as the time of 3 hours or something is up, all the work is gone. With this project, they can create something. So I'll show you the interface and I'll show you where it is, how to find it as well. Any questions so far? Although I'm going to give you plenty of time, you can type it in the chat. I just want to make sure that we are on the same page. Right. So what are the different components of the Academy course? First of all, that's the most important thing. So we've got modules, as I said. We've got knowledge checks. So knowledge checks are just to confirm the learner has understood the concept and they can answer multiple choice questions. And then we've got labs. So labs are not, as I said, part of every module. They would be here and there, depending upon what kind of technology are we talking about. And then the capstone project. And that's where your project comes in. Capstone means like it's the final top project to complete a qualification or something. That's what the purpose for that is, basically. And then I'm going to go through how you can find how to check learner progress on a course. So if you've got your learners on a course, you would like to see how many elements have they completed, how many modules have they done already. So I'll show you how you can do that. And then checking learner grades, you would like to know they have completed a lot of multiple choice questions, but what grades are they getting? So what dashboard can you use for that? And then the educator files, where you can have your own reporting files and other files. Where's the section for that as well? So we'll talk about that also. Now, are you all aware of this Academy portal for educators? Is there anybody who's not sure what is the educator portal? I'll show you as part of the demo as well, but is there anybody who's not aware of what is the Academy portal? The educator portal, because we've got two things. We've got learning management system where you see all the courses, and you've got the portal where your CPOC would invite you as an educator, and you will see the list of classes. What are you authorized to teach and create classes for? Any questions on that? Is there anybody who's not aware of this? Perfect. So it seems like everybody is aware of that as well. Now, you can find outlines of courses. So some people ask us, how can I know that this course is for how long? So how many minutes, or for different tasks? This portal has got outlines of courses where you can find minutes and seconds and all that. Normally minutes and hours, basically, not seconds. But you can find all that kind of outline of what are the topics and how long should it take to complete that. So as part of your lesson plan, if you're planning how I'm going to deliver something, you can use this as a guidance. So it's not for you to strictly follow. This is for guidance purposes, so you can spread your course over multiple weeks or a semester, whichever way you want to deliver it. It gives you the idea of how long a particular component would take. Now, after this, let me just click on that, and we're gonna get started with the demo part. So let me stop here. Any questions at this point? Because I'm going to start with the demo of one particular course, which is mentioned there, and I'll go through different sections and you can ask me the questions. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I've got this course. So first of all, anybody who doesn't know what this is, where I'm logged into, please let me know through the chat. Is there anybody who's new or who's thinking about joining but doesn't know what this is, basically? Okay, that's good to know, Emmanuel. Absolutely. Ahmed, thank you very much for that. So yes, so we have got two systems that as an educator you will use. So one system is this. Have you logged into this system by any chance, the portal itself? Mahava, thank you. Yeah, yes. So you get access to two systems, actually. One is this. So your CPOC would invite you to this portal. I'm going to just log out just to make sure that you understand how to log into this. So your CPOC would invite you, and our team would send you the instructions of how to log into. They'll send you a URL, this URL. I can copy it in the chat just for the ease. Here we go. So this is the URL for the portal. This is the educator portal. So if I log into this, let me just log in. So I've got my account, and one thing you will notice, what your username would have this AWS Academy in the end, .AWS Academy after your email. This is the personal account. This is a different account I'm using, but this can be done. So I will have my password. If I now log in to this, that's what I'm going to see. So as an educator, I can see different. So this is my home. It will tell me what courses am I accredited to teach. This is really important. You should know what courses are you accredited to teach, because you can only create classes for that. You cannot create class for something which is you're not even authorized to do. So that's one important thing. The other thing is the resources. Now, in the resources section, you've got some documentation about different policies, how to book vouchers. So you can open a document and see the instruction on there. It's got lots of resources, lots and lots. It's about the restriction in learner labs. It's about a lot of different things that you can find. But another important element it's got is, can you see over here, it's got course outlines for different courses like this. So this outline will tell you, so let me open one of the course. So I'm going to open up one course. I can open up any. Let me open up Introduction to Cloud Semester 1. If you are going to be registered for that, if you will be delivering that, if I click on open, it tells me a lot about that course, the objectives of the course. It tells me about the duration, how many hours generally would be recommended. And then if you go down, you can see what are the different sections in there. Now, this outline doesn't tell you the minutes and stuff. It just tells you about a few other things. But if I go back now, close this, and if I open up, let's say, another course, I'm going to open up Cloud Fundamentals. Let me just open up that. Cloud Foundations. If I open this up, you will see here, can you see it's got some minutes, total time required for that, the lecture video. So these are more video-based courses. There are many courses which have got video resources as well. Are you with me so far? Is there any question in your mind for the time being? So this can be really helpful for you to understand how I can deliver, how I can plan. So let's say, for instance, this section, should I make it a bit bigger? Is it the right size, or do you want me to make it a bit bigger? Zoom in a bit. Can you clearly see what's on the screen? Just to confirm, I don't want to. Perfect. Thank you very much. Because I don't want to just switch through it and then realize you didn't. Okay, no problems at all. So this is where you would have a lots of resources. And then you can click on classes and you can see which classes. I'm not even allowed as a demo person. That's very good, Marco. Really good to know. Now, here you've got upcoming classes. I haven't created anything, but as an educator, when you'll create a class, you would be able to see what's upcoming, what's there. Now, this is the resource and the main section where you would be logging into just to get guidance and stuff. Now, let's say now you want to go to your learning management system where all the courses are. So can you see this link, LMS? If I click on that, it will log me into these courses. So this is how you can come into the dashboard of all the courses. So all the courses that you can teach would be listed here. Now, is everybody okay with this part, or is there any question? And also, the ones who are doing orientation course, you would see it here like that at the bottom of the screen. I will zoom in a little bit here. And then the most important course, please make sure you do that. This is really helpful. So managing classes course, if you don't have access, please ask the Academy team through the help. Can you see the help button? You can click on that and contact Academy support team. Yes, you can invite students and you can create your own schedulings. I'll come to that as well. I'll come to that part as well. So you can schedule your own courses. These are not scheduled like it has to be delivered from this date to that. You choose your dates of start and end. Abdurrahman, does it answer your question? Yeah. You can do that, to be honest, Alberto. If you think you've got your own courses and this is a supplementary material that the learners should learn from, yes, please feel free to do that. You can mix and match if you want to. It's entirely your choice how you want to deliver it. Yeah, so no problems at all. Yes, that's absolutely. We don't want you to feel restricted when you're teaching. You go with whatever you want to teach. But just bear in mind, when you will be doing the learner lab part, make sure the service that you want to teach in learner labs, that is allowed service in the learner lab environment. Or when you give them a capstone, let's say, for something, the service that you want them to work on should be available as well. Now, this managing classes course is really important. But first of all, let me go back. And so, as I've got two accounts, one is a student account, one is an educator account. So I'm going to go back to my other account, which is this. So I have got multiple courses here listed there. And in terms of the course, let me just do one thing. I'll open up a particular course that I like, and I'm going to talk about different parts of that. So all I'm going to do is, this is the link for that particular course. I open it up, and this is how it looks like. So this is the semester 1 in English version, educator version course that I had access to through the dashboard. I found it and I got into it. Now you can see, as an educator, I've got lots of links on the left-hand side. Not all of them are for your use. Some are really useful. But the most important one for the time being is, let's go to the module section. Again, just to confirm, you can see clearly, right? This part as well. I know some have got big screens, some might have got small ones like myself. So yeah. Okay. So in the module section, you've got a welcome section. In some courses, you've got welcome section, pre-course survey. So before somebody starts a course, they can do a survey. Some support stuff is there. How to complete lab instructions are there. Educator guide in terms of what topics are in the course, so you can read it yourself just for self-study. Notes are there. Now, then you've got a student guide. You've got module 1 knowledge check as well. So they can go through the guide and they can complete the knowledge check based on that. And can you see here, it says score at least 80 out of 100. That means they need to get 80%. So if I click on the student guide for module 1, courses can be different. Right. To get to a course, you can go to dashboard. Sorry, Emmanuel, are you talking about how to get to log into this, or this LMS, or find a course? Emmanuel? Yes, that's absolutely fine, because you might be new. If the courses are not already there, you can see what courses are you accredited for first. Are you accredited already, or are you going through a process of accreditation? So if you don't see anything and you are accredited, then you yeah, that's fine. It might be a student version, Alberto, then. Emmanuel, did I answer the question? And Emmanuel, which course can you see? Do you have, so are you working as an educator, Emmanuel? So CPOC, your CPOC needs to invite you as an educator. And that's why you must have got access to this, right? You must have been invited to this. You are the man. That's what I was thinking about. Okay, superb. So which courses? Can you log into the other system that I was talking about? The portal? You can, yes, nominate the. So are you personally, you can nominate yourself, but are you personally part of, have you got any list of accreditation like courses? If I go back now here, let me open this up. Sorry. Let me open up. Okay, let me just open this up again. Here we go. I'm going to sign out. So do you have access to the courses? Okay, so let me just go back. So from this, if you go to this home page, can you see all these from the home page? Are you accredited for all these courses? If you are, Emmanuel, then what you need to do, and if they're still not coming up, then you need to contact Academy. So you can go into the LMS. On the left-hand side, can you see this help button on the left-hand side? And contact Academy and ask them, why am I not seeing all these courses? They should be able to help you. Does this answer the question? Okay, no problems at all. You're welcome. And I had somebody else who was asking me something. Alberto, I don't have so many items on the left-hand side. So as I said, if you are a student and you can't see much as an educator, it might be because you are. Which course are you talking about, Alberto? Somebody has given you access to that? Yeah, but in that course, are you an educator? What can you see on the left hand side of that course? That's what I'm trying to understand. Okay, that's fine. Please do that as well. You need to be an educator and then you can do it. Basically, you can then invite people and you would be able to see the courses. If you still can't do it, please, this is what this help button is for. Get in touch with the Academy support team. They should be able to sort it out for you and find out why is it not working. Hopefully it shouldn't be the case, but if it doesn't, please make sure you do that. Always do that. Now let me go back to where I was. I'm going to go back to that course. And from here, dashboard, I should be able to see whatever I've got access to should be listed here. If it's not listed, and I think it should be, please get in touch with Academy support team through that help button. Now, I'm just going to go to that course again. I've got the full link of that course. It's still in this account. Going back to modules. And so this is a study guide, let's say. So some courses would not have a study guide. They would rather have a recorded video. So in this one, the course is loading. Learners can start the course. They go through all this information. They can flip these if that's the part of the course. and they can go through all the material. And after they've done that, if I click on next, the next thing in that module would be their knowledge check. And it's listed under the modules. They can access it directly. So the knowledge check would load something similar to this. And it'll tell you here, you need to get 80%, click on start button, and start button is hiding here. So if I click on start, it starts the course. Let me just zoom out so that it gives me a better view. Here we go. This is a multiple choice questionnaire. I can answer these questions and then I can submit my answer. So let's say I chose this and this. I'm just randomly picking. I'm not saying I'm going to be correct. I'm just randomly picking without reading the question. If I click submit, it tells me incorrect, and it tells me the reason why it's incorrect. Sorry, Abdurrahman, that is with the PM. Please get in touch with the PM. They should be able to explain that. We won't have that much time to explain all that. Please talk to your program manager, whoever invited you to join Academy, also whoever did the pitch. They talk about those processes. They do their own overview calls and everything. This is more about if you've gone through that and now you want to know what is part of. Yeah, please do that. Anybody who needs that kind of support beyond this scope, please get in touch with your PM. They would signpost you to the right person, or they'll give you the info. Now, any questions on this knowledge check part? Okay, perfect. Thank you. So if I go back to modules now, I can see other things as well. So I've got multiple module knowledge checks, and then I've got a lab. Now, because I am an educator, I would see a different view. So, but if I click on student view on top, I can see what a student would see, how a student would view this course once I invite them. So if I click on this lab, click on that. This is how a lab, it has to be available there. Over here, you can see the instructions are on the right hand side. It tells you it should take you about 30 minutes to complete this lab. As a learner, they would know what they're doing in this lab. Step-by-step instructions are there. So every lab would have this. And they just need to complete it. In the end, it'll tell you lab is complete and lab. So this is the start lab button they need to start. It will tell you in the instructions that you start the lab with start lab. You end the lab by clicking end lab. AWS detail is there. And can you tell me what this is? AWS with the red sign in it, the dot next to that. What's the purpose of this? Absolutely, it's the console link. So if I start this lab as an example, it'll take a little bit of time. These labs are provided by our partner Vocarium. This is the V for that, and it's loading. So it's creating that environment that I need to log in to work on the AWS console. So I can wait for that to load. And in terms of README, this is very important. So this is the instruction of step by step, what do they need to do? These are all the steps that are important in there. So this lab is restricted to the services mentioned in the lab. You won't be able to do, so this is, let's say, about launching an EC2 instance, a server. It won't allow you to create databases or something else if you go to the console, because that is restricted to just do what's in the lab. So it's gone yellow and it'll go green. I'll just do a quick one on that and then I'll move on to the next thing. Let it go green. Once it's green, that means it's ready. I can log into the console. And over here, it tells me how much time. It's already green. You can see that. This is 1 hour and 29 minutes I've got on it. It's a 30-minute lab, but we have given you 3 times time basically on that, just to make sure you've got enough time to complete. You can complete it easily in 30 minutes, but you've got 1 hour, 30 minutes to before it automatically shuts down basically. Now, if I click on this, I am in AWS console. So these courses are provided by us. So they've got the content. If you feel, Abdurrahman, that you want to support them with extras, please help them to find more. If you want to create your own, you can do that. But these courses should be sufficient for them. They've got the slide decks, or the video based course has got video recordings, demos, and all of those kind of things already there. Now, coming back to this, we will talk about this towards the end because I want to just wrap this part up as well. Now, over here, you might be able to see this is a Vocarium Lab user who's logged in. It's not an AWS account that I'm using directly, my own account. This is Vocarium Lab because I've come through that, and I can access several services. But if you try to go into a service that is not allowed, it won't entertain you, it will throw an error. But if I want to follow the instructions, the learner now just needs to follow these instructions in this environment to complete the lab. That's all about these labs. They've got fixed time, and as soon as the time is up or they click end lab, every resource, web servers or S3 bucket, whatever they've created would be gone. Any questions on this part? Perfect. Thank you very much. So I'm going to do end lab, and you can see if you choose this, all the stuff would be gone. Yes. And it's going yellow, and then it'll go red. And that's finished. Now, these are the important parts of a course. So it's got modules, module 3, module 4. It's got some study guides or videos. Some courses have got video recordings the learners can watch. Knowledge checks. All the knowledge checks are 80%, which is 80 out of 100 points. That's point-based system. And then they've got labs that they can complete. Now, some courses would also have something else. Now, this course has got, the semester knowledge check and survey, things like that. But some of the courses, you will see something called a sandbox. Now, sandbox is something different. So let me just come out of this course and let me go to cloud architecting, because I need to show you two things: a sandbox. No, Marcelo, no, that doesn't happen. The next module will open once you've completed one, but and it's graded. It's not going to open up new courses after that. It's based on what your educator has invited you to. So now, if I go to cloud architecting, as I was talking about before, in the module section, I'll show you a couple of things. So as a student, I go right to the bottom. Can you see the sandbox environment? Not every course would have it, just like the last course didn't have that. So if I click on the sandbox environment, this is for experimentation purposes. This is not fixed on a particular lab, but the important part that you need to understand is, so this is an environment which only allows you, just like learner labs, only a few services. You cannot run anything that you wish. You can only try a few things for experimentation purposes in this environment. So you can start the lab, and the lab will give you the time. So if I click on instructions, it tells you here, this is a 3 hour at a time environment. So it gives you the 3 hours to do whatever experiment you want to do on that. So this is sandbox environment for experimentation. Are you with me on this, or is there any question? So yeah, superb. And now let me go back to another thing that I wanted to talk about. So if I go back to modules, now, as I said, only a bit concerned on the data recorded for students. Okay, Alberto, we'll come to that as well. Let me just do the final thing here. We'll talk about then how to check learner records and things like that. Now, this was the sandbox environment, but also, can you see in module 15, you've got a capstone project? So if I click on capstone project, you will see something really useful here. Again, this is similar to learner lab environment, but there is a difference. So this is not right because this is me who's got access. You would not have this much credit. You would check it's about $60 credit. Don't worry about this because this is my account. That's why it's showing this much credit. It's only $60 as a student they will get, not $100 budget. This is the project they can do as a final project for their cloud architecting course if they're doing it. That's where how they can do it. And it'll tell you how much is used. And then start the lab, and the lab, you can access the console through this once it goes green after you've done it. And also, if you go to README, it's got its own instructions on how you can navigate through different things, access to management console using in the browser. So all of that is there. And this is the environment overview. So it tells you all the things. This is not a learner lab. It's only a lab environment for learners. Now, this is for grading and submission report for for a student. This is where once they've done it, they will click submit whatever they've done. If I click on submit, it'll say, are you sure? I'm not doing anything. I'm in a student view. Can you see the pink border at the moment? I'm in a student view just to show you that this is how they can do it. Are you all with me on this as well? So this is a capstone project, which is only part of one thing. Now going back, I'm going to leave the student view by clicking leave student view. And this is the educator view. Can you see it's very different? It's like a learner lab. If you have joined my webinar, you would remember that you can check the dashboard, each student record and things like that. If you haven't, then please join one of that later on that we plan for learner labs. It's similar to that environment and similar kind of analytics of cost, time, and everything. No, only one cloud architecting course, Marco. Not every course has capstone project. No problem. And that's your own assignment, whatever you want to create. Now, finally, a few quick things, and then I'll give you, we'll open the floor for all the questions that you have for me. Now, the next part that I wanted to go to is let's talk about, we've done this part, but how can you check what learners have been doing and things like that? So how many of you, if I go back, have got access to a course called Managing Classes? How many of you have seen it? Is there anyone who hasn't seen that course or who hasn't got access to that Managing Classes? Please check you've got it. If not, go to, again, help and ask the Academy to do it. So click on help and contact them. This is very important for you. You will struggle otherwise. Please do that. So this course, check your dashboard. You've got access to this. If you don't, please ask them. I'll tell you why. If I click on the modules of this is for educators only. Now, it tells you how to create a class. It gives you all the instructions step by step. How you can create class, how can you put a start date, end date, how long you have to wait for that class to be active, and then how do you add students to that? This is logged content. If I go back to modules, it tells me deleting a class, adding students, all those kind of things can be done through that. These instructions are really, really, really important for you. So please, please, please make sure you get access to this course. It gives you, lots of instructions for learner labs as well. And also how to access them, use them, troubleshoot them, and also the other courses. Now, the important stuff with regards to a course is how can you check learner progress? So if I click on viewing student progress, view module progress. So normally, if you see a course in your dashboard, can you see the module thing on the left-hand side as an educator? The module link, all of you? So if you click on that, and if you've got learners, click on that, and on the right-hand side, do you see view progress button on the right-hand side of the screen? I won't open it because of data protection. I've got some records, but I don't want to show you that. So this is what I can do, though, is let me just open up a dashboard and go to a course where I've got educator access. Let me just see if I can see that. Just a second. I'll have to open the same one. I'll just go back. So this is where, let me just do this and I'll show you where I can, you can see that button as well. So it tells you step by step how you can click on this button. Now you can see the student progress by which element have they completed. Introduction, they've completed it. Module 1, they've completed it. So they will keep on getting that tick against that. So you will see where they are. If a learner is not doing much, tell them, can you please do some work on that? So that's why it's important for you to understand it. Now, the next part I wanted to talk about is also how do you view the knowledge check results. They've done knowledge check. So in your course on the left-hand side, you can go to grades and check everybody's grade like that. Everybody's grade for every module's knowledge check would be listed like this in a table. You can export it in CSV as well for your personal records if you want to. Are you clear on this part so far? That's brilliant. Thank you very much for that. And then I'll go back again. And also, let's have a look at, you can even check course statistics, how much involvement of all these students is there. And then you can view student access report if a learner is actually doing anything on that. So you can go to people and check if a learner has spent any time on anything, or they're just telling you that, oh yeah, I'm doing it, but I don't understand it. So please make sure you go through this managing. It's very simple, very straightforward instructions are there as well. Now, have you got any particular questions that you would like to get an answer for? So I'm opening the floor. It's all there. If you want me to, can you flush? You won't be able to, Alberto. You want me to remove those? So if I go back, because if you flush them, that's it. That's gone. It's not part of the record then. So if I go back to a course in here, and the course I was in, let me just see if I can, yeah. If I go back, if I go to modules, that button of view progress is here. I'm not going to click it because it's then going to show everybody's emails and record, and then going to show the list of what they've done. How do you mean, Alberto? Of course, I'm going to open it up now. Anybody who wants to talk, I'm more than happy for you to, talk to me through microphone as well. Let me just get you there. Here we go, Alberto. Here we go. I have unmuted you.
So hi, nice
Hi.
talking to you. Thank you very much for the presentation. Um, the thing is, for example, if I invite my students to make one, two, or three modules from a concrete course, uh, some personal data of my students is going to be recorded in a platform which does not belong to my home university. And as far
Hmm.
as I know, it doesn't have an agreement. So I would be using or I would be misleading my students to a third party um, which is recording data. I would be violating my local data regulation law, which is quite
Right.
restrictive since I'm in Spain. Uh,
Okay.
so I cannot think of a solution.
Okay. Let me just show you something. Probably that Alberto would help you.
Uh,
Let me show you something. Which region are you from? Are you from Spain
from
region?
Spain, from Spain.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect. I know Inaki has always talked about it because this is really important as well. For everybody, it's important. But here we go. If I go to resources, so you've got access to this?
Yes.
Okay. Now, in terms of F data, can you see this is the legal document for AWS Academy Privacy and Security Infrastructure? This is what you
Yes.
share. Yeah.
Mhm.
So this talks about how all these systems that are part of this whole offering, Vocarium and Risiki, and then you've got Canvas and Credly all connected together, how they conform with data protection.
Okay.
So that should
So
help you, shouldn't it?
mhm. I will send those documents to the data protection office at my home university and see what we can
Perfect.
do. I
Perfect,
think.
perfect. And that's a very, very good and valid question. So thank you very much for asking me that.
Thanks to you, Fawad.
Okay, no problems at all. No problem. You're welcome. Now, I've got another question. Would you like to be on, Amit? Would you like to come off this, or do you want me to just talk about it? What's the function of LMS? So, LMS is the learning management system where the learners access the course from. That's the learning management system. This is for you as educators, the portal where you've got access to all these things. Which classes can you run? And that's exactly what I was showing you. Oh, that's fine. And Abdul Rahman, you said, how about seeing the progress of a certain student? You can. This is what I was showing you. So if I go back, because I can't go through it, so are you looking for a particular name, right? That's what you would be doing, Abdul Rahman. So if I go back to that managing classes course, I will show you a hint. I can't open it up, unfortunately, because of I can't share that data, what's already in there with you. But if I go to view learner progress, module progress, I'll have the names listed, student progress. Can you see this section on top? It will have everybody's name listed on the right hand side. I can click on that particular learner's name and it will show this progress is of that particular learner. Does that answer the question? Okay. Are you trying to put it all together, Abdul Rahman, in one place? Because there are different things that you can see in different dashboards. Are you saying everything about that learner in one dashboard, basically? Single pane of glass you're looking for? No, you can't. I'll say it. You can't do that. They can't be. They need to be nominated by your central point of contact, and then they need to be approved. We need to know who they are. Just a second. Let me just quickly see. I saw that you did 20 course on your dashboard. I only have 12. How can I get a right? It all depends, Marcelo, on what kind of courses are you accredited to teach. So you need to check what are you accredited to teach in your portal first and then come back, please. If I need the student to access material, I must create a class. Absolutely, Ahmed. You need to create a class. Otherwise, they won't be able to access anything on Academy. And I'll say it. Did you get the answer? You won't be able to just nominate the student as a, a person who can just become an educator. They won't be able to. Any other questions? We still have got 5 minutes. I'm really excited about this, and I'm really glad you all were able to join me for this. Any questions? Anything else? Any concern that you would like to share with me? Or anybody who would like to go off mute and would like to talk to me? Please type in the chat window if there is anybody who thinks I haven't answered their question yet. Please type in the chat window. I just would like to make sure. Very good question, Tabazzo. So Learner Lab is an environment where the learners can complete a project. So Sandbox is limited to 3 hours only. It is not a long running kind of a thing. Learner Lab is a long running thing. It's like a class. You can invite learners for 6 months. They can complete their project in 6 months. It shuts down after 4 hours, but they've got a budget. But when you start again, it starts again. You need to join a Learner Lab class and you'll understand it better. Lots of info is available on that course as well itself, managing classes. Is it possible to create your own course? Arjun, yeah. So out of blue, you want to upload your own content and stuff, Arjun? Is that what you're looking for? Unfortunately, you won't be able to. Whatever is there, that's the only content you can use. Because what you're trying to do is you're trying to create your own content and upload. That's not the purpose. Any other questions? So Sandbox, did I answer that question? Difference between Sandbox? Some courses, not all courses would have a Sandbox. Yeah, that's what I said. Not every course would have Sandbox environment as well. Is the Learn Lab available for all educators? Yes. I'll say it at the moment, what you've got 2 types of Learner Labs. You've got foundation level for those who are not certified and they haven't done the validation. It's not available to them. They've got foundation level with about 40 services. And then you've got those they've done their certification and validation. They would have another Learner Lab, which is called associate level. It gives you access to about 100 services. So if you haven't done any of that, you would only have access to this. Would you say Learner Lab is more real than Sandbox? Is just experimentations, Tabazzo. It's not for assignment completion. Learner Lab is where they complete their assignments and submit because they've got time. 3 hours is not enough to complete an assignment and submit and you to mark. You won't be able to mark anything much there. Can we create a different learner? You're talking about Learner Lab now. Sorry, you need to join me for Learner Lab. This is not about Learner Labs at the moment. Yeah. So that is what you need to wait for. Last week, I did advertise the session for Learner Labs. It's not about that. I can't answer. There's a lot of information. That was a 1-hour session on that. What is the mandate to use the Learner Lab? Again, Al Sayed, that's beyond the scope of what we are covering. Sorry about that. In class available after completing educator orientation. It should be, Marco, once you've done that's, and we encourage you to complete that course yourself, at least in the Academy portal, so that you know what to teach and how to teach it. No problems. Thank you very much, everyone. I believe I need to now wrap it up in a minute. But it was lovely having you. It was an amazing experience for me as well to know what's going on. And hopefully it's going to help you to achieve what you want to achieve. So look forward to seeing you again in the future as well. Please make sure you register yourself for the next upcoming sessions. And then I will repeat the sessions and we'll be communicating with all of you. Thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Take care. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you. Really appreciate your time. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Take care. Thank you so much for being part of this. Thank you. I hope it helps you with all these, blockers that you can see at the moment and get through those hurdles, basically. Thank you. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that. Thank you.